Hello artists, I'm Thomas, welcome back, and today I'm going to reflect a little bit on where I feel like I am at where it comes to my career in the arts, give you a bit of a kind of heads up and guidance when it comes to how to think about this, and also I would like to hear from you guys, understanding where you guys think you are, and create kind of a positive, productive comment section below. Hopefully, if you guys are okay with commenting. So stick around and hear some maybe guidance, advice, and context before you do comment. But yeah, hopefully down below we can start some good conversations. So this video idea actually came to me because over the past 2 days now, I've really got back into kind of planning paintings, and probably tomorrow I'll manage to finally get my paintbrush back onto the canvas, which I am so bloody excited about. So I've just kind of been reflecting on now at this point, now that I've come back to the UK, I've spent my 2 years in China, I finally feel like I'm now at the point where I feel like the work I'm now going to produce, this is like the beginning of my career, because the time that I spent in China, I invested most of that time into really getting to know oil paint as much as I can, and now I'm kind of bringing that all back, and I'm starting to have a real confidence about the imagery that I'm producing. So the question is, if you are not feeling kind of confident or at a point where you feel like you're at that beginning or early stages of a confident career, how do you get to that point? It's not really a black and white answer, but what I basically did was invest my time enough into a medium so you become confident with that medium, and then you begin to communicate your ideas well because you kind of know what you're doing with a certain material. It would be really nice if this is what university actually set you up with, kind of a confidence about your practice and what you're doing, if they actually taught you how to use materials, which they unfortunately don't. There's no structure there when it comes to kind of the practicality of making artwork, or the, I guess, traditional methods of study, understanding, say, values, colors, drawing, and the rest of it, which is kind of the foundation that sets you up to really communicate well in the arts. But I came out of university feeling like I didn't have the skills or confidence with what I was making that was kind of good enough, I guess, on my terms, for the real world, to kind of feel confident as an artist, to promote myself as an artist. Because one thing that I've felt over the past 2 years at least is the work I produced, or the work I've been doing, has not been work which I would go and try and bang on doors to try and make contacts, to try and sell, because it was something, I wouldn't sell something I don't believe in myself. But now I feel like my painting has got to a point where I'm starting to believe what I paint, so then I'm willing to kind of knock on those doors, try and network or sell it to people to finally make a living as an artist. So I built my confidence in painting by literally 100% copying, for example, Soroya. In China, I did some Soroya work, some quite big, some quite small. But kind of I went back to a traditional kind of basis to try and give me confidence to kind of test where I could kind of copy imagery, atmosphere, light, particularly if you know Soroya's work. But I also looked at contemporary artists who I admired, who I feel like were making really interesting paintings, and I also copied their work, really just not to obviously sell myself or pretend that I am Soroya or a contemporary artist whose work I enjoy, but as a means of learning, a means of, okay, if I can take a little bit of what they're doing and produce it and it looks somewhat similar, then it gives you a little bit of confidence boost where it's like, you know what, maybe if I do this for another 1, 2, 3 years and I work really hard, I'm going to be where they are. And if I have the patience and I put in the work, then I'll get there. And that kind of confidence boost is what kind of takes you that one step further. So basically what I learned from copying, I took elements, I took the things that I learned from that copying, and then I started to apply it to my own ideas, my original ideas, my own work, my own working process. And it began to produce something which obviously I became more confident with because I could control oil paint better. I feel like I have come a long way since my first year of university. So it's always good to look back and kind of make sure that you are making some kind of progress and have that documentation there so you can look back and be like, okay, I'm better than I was there, so there must be some kind of progress being made. One thing that's also really, really important is you have to believe in yourself and what you're doing and what you're making, even if it's not quite there on a practical basis or an aesthetic basis yet. You have to kind of have a vision for yourself. You have to set yourself goals. It's great to have ambitious, big goals, but at the same time, you also have to check yourself. Are you putting in the work to match those goals? One thing you really need to kind of drum into your head is that success doesn't exist overnight. It takes quite long, hard work. There's a long build up to the point of, I guess, the pinnacle of your career or whatever you want to say. But to really succeed at something, you need to have goals, focus, hard work. Patience is a huge thing as well, because if you start, doing all this work and then you don't see results straight away and you stop doing it, you're never going to get to, anywhere significant, basically. So let us talk in the comments section about where everyone feels like they are in life, whether I can offer some positive feedback or some advice on maybe next steps to take or changing certain ways that we might think about ourselves, whether that be in a way that is too positive or a way that is too critical or too negative, because we tend to be our biggest critics. If you don't want to create a conversation in the public comment section below, feel free to drop me a DM on Instagram if you're feeling a bit lost. But also remember that no matter kind of whatever troubles or winning you might kind of be going through, sometimes putting that in a public place, putting your thoughts out there, it helps other people relate to your situation. So whether it be kind of positive or negative, down below would be a great place to start some conversation. But if not, my Instagram is open. I hope that this video has been somewhat of a positive and at the same time realistic reminder for the way you kind of need to think about these things sometimes. And just remember that time is a huge factor. The bigger your goals, the kind of slower almost you need to move. You don't rush. Don't kind of compare yourself unnecessarily to others who may be going at a faster or slower rate than you. Focus on the work, step by step, have that laser focus. And that's my advice. So let's start some friendly convos, and I wish you all the best for your artistic careers. And here is my awkward goodbye.